Men over 60, have you noticed your mornings aren't the same anymore? That natural vitality feels weaker. And most guys assume it's just age. But the truth is, weak mornings can be a red flag, a sign your circulation is failing, and even an early warning of stroke. Don't ignore it. Your body may be trying to tell you something before it's too late. I'm Dr. Evelyn Hart, a board-certified urologist, with more than 25 years of experience helping men protect their circulation, restore vitality, and lower stroke risk. I've seen countless men who thought weak mornings were just aging until we uncovered the real warning signs hidden in their blood flow. Weak mornings as a vascular signal. Let's start with something most men over 60 know, but rarely talk about: weak mornings. For decades, doctors have considered morning vitality one of the most reliable indicators of vascular health. Why? Because it happens naturally, without effort, and it depends almost entirely on healthy blood flow. When circulation is strong, your blood vessels widen overnight, nitric oxide is released, and oxygen-rich blood reaches the pelvic region with ease. That's why younger men wake up feeling restored. But when those morning signals fade, it's often because blood vessels are no longer opening the way they should. The arteries may be stiff, blocked, or struggling to deliver enough flow. This isn't just about intimacy. It's about your entire vascular system. Studies from the Journal of Sexual Medicine show that men with erectile difficulties are up to 40% more likely to suffer a stroke or heart attack within the next few years. In other words, what happens in the bedroom, or what no longer happens in the morning, may be the earliest warning sign that circulation throughout your body is in trouble. I've had patients come to me embarrassed about weak mornings, thinking it was just age. But when we dug deeper, we found high blood pressure, diabetes, or early arterial disease, conditions that were quietly stealing their vitality and placing them at risk for something far worse. So when mornings change, don't dismiss it. Don't brush it off as inevitable aging. Your body may be sounding the alarm, giving you a chance to act before the damage becomes permanent. And weak mornings are only the beginning. The second red flag shows up when your overall performance in the bedroom starts to change, and that signal is even harder to ignore. Bedroom performance changes as a systemic circulation warning. Weak mornings are often the first clue. But when changes extend into your overall bedroom performance, the warning becomes even louder. Difficulty maintaining firmness, shorter duration, or a noticeable drop in sensitivity. These aren't simply frustrations. They're signs that circulation across your entire body is faltering. Here's why. An erection is essentially a blood flow event. It depends on arteries opening fully, blood rushing in, and small veins closing to keep it there. If the arteries are stiff, narrowed, or clogged, the body simply can't maintain that system. And what happens in the pelvic region reflects what's happening in the heart, the brain, and every other blood vessel. Research published in the Circulation Journal found that men with erectile difficulties were significantly more likely to have hidden coronary artery disease, often 2 to 3 years before a cardiac event. Another large-scale study showed that performance changes predicted future strokes in many men long before any other symptoms appeared. I remember a patient named John, 64, who came to me worried about declining stamina. He thought it was stress, but his performance issues were actually the first clue of widespread vascular disease. Tests revealed blocked carotid arteries, the vessels that supply blood to the brain. By addressing it early, John reduced his stroke risk and gradually regained both his health and his confidence. So when performance shifts, don't view it as a private inconvenience. See it as your body's way of flashing a red light, telling you circulation everywhere needs attention. And here's the most critical link. The very same arteries that affect your mornings and your performance are the ones that protect your heart and brain. When they weaken, the consequences go far beyond the bedroom. The circulation, link to heart and brain. By now, it should be clear. What happens in the bedroom doesn't stay in the bedroom. The very same arteries that supply blood to the pelvic region are also responsible for nourishing your heart and brain. When you see changes in morning vitality or performance, it's often because those arteries are losing their ability to widen, stay flexible, and deliver steady blood flow. This condition is called endothelial dysfunction. The inner lining of your blood vessels stops working properly. Instead of producing nitric oxide to relax the arteries, the lining becomes stiff and resistant. Blood doesn't flow as easily, and pressure builds up. Over time, this process doesn't just rob you of vitality. It raises blood pressure, damages vessel walls, and dramatically increases your risk of heart attack and stroke. Medical research confirms the connection. A landmark study in the American Journal of Cardiology found that erectile dysfunction often precedes major cardiovascular events by 2 to 3 years. That means the body sends warning signals in the form of weak mornings and performance changes, long before the first chest pain or stroke occurs. I've seen men ignore those signals until it was too late. But I've also seen men who paid attention, sought help, and caught circulation problems early. By treating the underlying vascular issues, they didn't just improve intimacy, they added years of healthier living. So remember this, the link between your mornings, your performance, and your circulation isn't just about confidence, it's about survival. Your body is giving you a chance to intervene before your heart or brain pays the price. And sometimes that chance comes in the form of a story. A man who thought his issues were harmless, until a mini-stroke showed him just how serious the warning really was. Case study. Mini-stroke and early warning. Let me share a story that brings this warning into sharp focus. A patient of mine, Harold, was 68. He came to see me about declining performance and weak mornings. He laughed nervously, saying, "Doc, maybe I'm just getting old." He had no chest pain, no obvious stroke symptoms, nothing dramatic, just subtle changes in the bedroom. 2 months later, Harold experienced what doctors call a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, often called a mini-stroke. One side of his face drooped, his speech slurred, and his right hand went weak. It lasted only a few minutes, and by the time he reached the ER, the symptoms had disappeared. He thought it was nothing. But scans told the truth. His carotid arteries were narrowing, circulation to his brain was compromised, and his bedroom changes had been the earliest red flag. The good news is that Harold took it seriously. He followed through with medical care, improved his lifestyle, and within months his risk dropped significantly. His mornings and confidence slowly returned as his blood flow improved. But he told me later, if I had ignored those early signs, I might not be here today. This is the reality for many men. Weak mornings or performance issues may seem like small embarrassments, but they are often silent alarms for something much larger. Circulation failing in the very arteries that keep you alive. So when your body whispers through subtle changes, don't wait until it shouts with a stroke. The earlier you act, the more you can protect. And what makes those whispers louder are the daily habits that keep circulation under constant stress. Smoking, salty diets, and hours of sitting still. These choices may feel harmless, but they quietly push you closer to disaster. So what do we learn from all this? Weak mornings are not just an inconvenience, and bedroom changes are not simply a matter of aging. They are some of the body's earliest red flags that circulation is under strain. The very arteries that supply blood to your pelvic region are the same ones feeding your heart and brain. When those signals weaken, it often means your vascular system is losing its flexibility, its strength, and its ability to protect you from serious events like stroke. The case of Harold reminds us that ignoring these signs can be dangerous, but recognizing them can be life-saving. A mini stroke or sudden episode may seem to appear out of nowhere. But in truth, the body often whispers warnings for months or even years beforehand. Here's the hopeful truth. You don't have to accept weak mornings as inevitable. By paying attention, making changes, and seeking help, you can restore circulation, improve vitality, and lower your risk. The key is to act when the body whispers, not to wait until it shouts. And in the next step, we'll talk about how you can use these early signs to make smarter choices every day. Because protecting your mornings means protecting your future. If you've noticed weak mornings or changes in your bedroom performance, don't brush them off as just aging. They could be your body's first warning that circulation is failing. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. You're not alone. And if this video helped you, please give it a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video in this red flag series. Protecting your mornings may be the first step in protecting your life. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always consult your physician for diagnosis and treatment regarding circulation, stroke risk, or sexual health.